Hey there, it's Kimberly here with Knit for Brains, and I'm not buying any new yarn, but I did do a little bit of a book haul from our friends over at WeCrochet. So stay tuned, we're going to take a look inside. Hey there, it's Kimberly here, welcome to my channel. So as you guys know, 2025, no buy in 2025. Yarns. Now I did say, oh, maybe no patterns, but I didn't say I couldn't buy any books. I couldn't buy any books. And I'll tell you, I love WeCrochet. I got all of these at WeCrochet. You can get them in other places, and I'm sure Amazon has them, and I'll include my Amazon storefront link for that. But I'll tell you, I got all this yarn. I got a lot of yarn. As a matter of fact, probably enough that I could use everything in my stash in the year of 2025, and I could probably stretch that into 2026 as well. Maybe 2027, I don't know. That might be pushing it a little bit. I have a lot of yarn. So I'm like, okay, what do I do with it? I did let myself off the hook. If I found a pattern I absolutely loved that was perfect for a particular yarn, I'm going with a pattern. I'm just doing it. I'm going to try not to, but I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway. I mean, you know what they say about diets, right? If you're too restrictive, you're going to fail. You're just going to bomb it. And I didn't want to bomb it. So I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway that if I find a pattern, it's absolutely perfect. But I'll tell you, I have all this yarn. For instance, I have this box of yarn right here. These are remnants of something that I just finished. And I got to find something to do with them. And I kind of know what I'm going to do with them. But what I really wanted was this thing called a color grid. Now, it comes to us from Gail Callahan. And the idea with this, you can use this in your home, your garden, or your crafts. So I wanted to use it for my crafts. The idea is it's got this color graph here, and then you use this and you match it up, and basically it tells you what colors are going to be complementary to the sides and what's a really nice accent to go with the yarns or whatever you've got going on. So I wanted to give this one a try. Then I'm really into color because learning more about color. I mean, I love color, right? But I want to know like what goes together and what are good complements and things like that. So I also found this book called Color Crochet Unlocked. So this is really about like using bright colors and mixing them together. So I thought this is a really good marriage between these two. Then the last one is this one called Hooktionary. Now, there is an artist in a box that I featured last year called the Doodle Deck. And it's a doodle dictionary, but it's all for knitting. And I thought, man, this is so great. But you know, I do a little bit more crochet than I do with knit, and I was hoping that I could figure out a way to translate those patterns from knit over to crochet. Well, that's kind of exactly what this book does here. All right, so we're going to take a look at these lovely books. I grabbed myself some yarn. Now, if you don't know what I was talking about when I mentioned last year, this Doodle Knit Directory by Jamie Lomax, she's fabulous. She's got this awesome following, super fun on Instagram, and I don't think she's got a YouTube, but Facebook and Instagram, but big following, and you can buy packets of these Doodle Knit directories. Now this is just for knit. She's up in, I think, Portland area, Pacific Northwest area. Adorable. And I was like, oh, those are so doggone cute, but I don't want to like limit myself just to knit. So let's start off with this one. When I found this one, this is the Hooktionary book, a crochet dictionary of 150 modern tapestry crochet motifs. Now, who do you think it's by? Now, you guys are like, you know what? You got like a little crush thing going on with David and Charles. And yeah, I kind of do, because their books are so freaking awesome and they have fabulous authors. Now, I found this on WeCrochet. I bought it. So thank you, David and Charles. But when I saw the back, I was like, of course it's them. Of course it's them. So I wanted to take a look at this guy here first. We'll take a look at this one in a moment. I wanted to see how it compared to my Doodle Knit directory. So this one is called Hooktionary. Came out in 2023. So it's been out for a little bit. So it's not new. You can get it, I'm sure, on Amazon. I found it on WeCrochet. I think it was on sale. Head on over there to the WeCrochet folks. They're super nice and they'll help you out. Okay, so this is by Brenda Anderson. Brenda KB Anderson to be exact. Let's take a look and see. So it talks about how to use this book, choosing your yarns, comparing the different stitch patterns, and then the different kinds of swatches. So it looks like there might be a corner to corner, a front post double crochet, a single crochet back loop only. And then they also have projects in there, which is great because sometimes you're like, this is super fun, but what am I going to do with it, right? So it talks about here about choosing your different yarns. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with these already. Loving these patterns. So here are the different stitch patterns. Single crochet of, single crochet through the back loop only, SCBLO for the abbreviations, single or center single crochet, extended single crochet, split extended single crochet, and front post double crochet. Okay, and then it has pictures over here that shows you what we're talking about. And then it talks about here the different single crochets, and so basically it kind of sets you up for success in these first pages. And here it gives you some basic instructions for the different types of crochet stitches we're going to be going through, and then working from a color chart. And if you haven't worked from a color chart, it's important, I think, to have some basic understanding, because this is not a chart the way that we talk about charts. This is more of a graph of a chart. Steeking without freaking. I don't know what that means, but I'm really glad this page is in there because I don't want to freak out about whatever this is. Okay, maybe it's sewing things together. All right, let's get into it. Now, here are the different swatches. So this one's called Molly's Wallpaper. So this is what the pattern looks like. This is the chart for it. And this is Forest with the chart as well. So, oh my gosh, look at how cute these are. Ramen noodles, the awareness ribbon, Istanbul, tattoo, mom, heart, rock. Love it. Bison, beaded curtains. So I'm assuming these are going in alphabetical order. The bison. I like how it shows you a little picture of what you're doing and then also the chart that goes along with it. Headphones, buffalo plaid, broken lines, cable. What I'm loving about this already is that this looks like knit. So for those people that go, crochet looks like crochet and it'll never look like knit, I beg to differ. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with crochet that can make it look like knit, like the Tunisian, for instance, and now we're getting into these different kinds of patterns. These to me look just the same as they do in the Doodle directory. Hot diggity dog. What the heck? How stinking cute is that? What just popped into my mind was like a vest, right? Like something you'd wear over a long shirt in a hot dog pattern. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I think that would be flippin' adorable. As a matter of fact, even if I could make the hot dog red and then the thing in the middle like mustard color, yellow, boom, how novel would that be? That is so cute. I'm gonna have to put a little sticky on that page, friends. Donuts, because of course you gotta have donuts. Checker dots, girl's best friend. Fintan. Howl, pinecone, India Place. Mixtape. How adorable is that? Now, I know a lot of you are like, what's a mixtape? Stupid babies of the 80s, you don't know. You're not stupid. But I don't think I got a lot of followers on this page that, or this channel that come from that era. Y'all are my peeps, and you know what a mixtape is. We used to make those. You'd wait for the radio station, and you request a song, and then you'd have the cassette player ready, and as soon as that song would play, boom, you hit record. And that's how you got your song, friends. No streaming on the internet, no pulling stuff down. It was old school, friends. You had to go and hit that button and sit and wait for hours by your cassette player, by your radio. Y'all don't even know what I'm talking about, but some of you probably do. Rose, pint glass. Ah, that's going to be great for the Brit. Because you know, we brew beer at home. I crochet and knit and weave, and he makes beer. We're like a house of hobbyists. Kitties with feelings. Look how cute. Some have a sad face, some have a happy face. Come on. Rainy day. Queen bee. Soft serve. Nautical. I'm not seeing the nautical in that. Okay. Looks like a Christmas tree to me, but I'll go with it. Run with scissors, light as a feather, Solano, scattered diamonds, TV, space diamonds. I'm going through these fast. You guys can't copy them. Peking, Tesla coil. That's interesting. Uneven floor. That's cool. Swallows. These would be great for scarves. The Great Divide, icicles. Call me. Hello. A lot of kids wouldn't even know what that is. Oh, friends. This thing here with the little handle you pick up, that's called a telephone. I'm loving these. People are like, what you mean you just don't answer it? No, and when you were really mad at somebody back in the day, that's it. And you'd slam the receiver down. You can't do that with a cell phone, friends. You can't do it. You're like, boom. It doesn't translate over. I'm just telling you right now. So I love this. I love the retro in here. The bonbons make a spectacle. Glasses, adorable. Coffee cup, carpeted. You know, my son, who thinks he's like hip, and he's 28, he wanted me to make the carpet from The Shining. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that. But I think it kind of looks like this pattern. And okay, sure, maybe. But I'll do it in a swatch. I ain't doing no big carpet for the whole house. I mean, come on. Fresh squeezed, that's adorable. Jackalopes, because we all love jackalopes. Gardens, peaks and values. The irregular zig, heartbreaker. Bosky, peace and love, because adorable, of course. Ceramic. Nessie, oh my goodness. You know, we went to Ireland and Scotland. I have to tell you, because I do know where Nessie is. Nessie is in Scotland, in Loch Ness. And we went there, and we actually went to the museum. And I looked and scoured the lake. And it's a long lake. Like, it took us pretty much most of the day to drive, and I didn't see Nessie. I didn't see her, but I believe she exists. I do, and so I gotta make that guy. That's amazing. Secret language of yarn, love it. Sideways glances, quilt, single crochet. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so excited. I am so excited. I'm gonna show you how all these books are gonna tie in together. Splatter, Nellie the Elephant, Tiny Dancer, and then you got your alphabet. Then we're moving into cherries, bunny love, bubbly. Look at that. It actually has a bubble that's as high. These are so specific. This is just like the doodle designs, doodle knit directory. And this is so great. So if you get one of each, and they're both by David and Charles, I'm just saying, you got one for your knit, you got one for your crochet, and you don't even have to split the brain, friends. You don't even have to split the brain. Camping, Diamondback, Crush, hand signs, love it. Maps, okay, crosswinds. So if you're just like, I want something that's a little bit more like vague, you know, just a nice pattern. Sushi, they call it Maki, but I'm calling it sushi. Skullduggery, Posy, Grout, Puppy Love, Seriously. Dinos, Worlds Collide, Intersection, Spider, Brick Braid. Oh my God. Tiny unicorns. Oh, Bigfoot. Come on. Backbone. These look like they'd be hard to make, but maybe not. I'm thinking the chart. But once you get the hang of it, I think making these is going to be A, easy, and B, addictive. Addictive. Like, I'm going to have so many patterns running around in here. The helix, the tooth, the saguaro. These do not look like crochet, friends. At all. This looks like a single crochet. We got the village, the two-tone hearts. That's adorable. For a scarf. Ugh. Umbrella. Big Flora. Narwhal School. So across the board, you guys, this has, some of them are broken up into like the seasons and, you know, the different kinds of motifs, but they're broken up into like shapes or seasons or food and drinks and whatever. This is all kind of, looks to me like it's, I wouldn't even really say it's alphabetical. I'm not sure. But there is a pattern. Hold on. There's a pattern to the book. Okay. Let me explain to you the pattern. So first of all, let me go back a little bit. This book is written in U.S. terms. People go, is it U.S. or U.K.? I'm so glad you asked. I should tell you that all the time. This is written in U.S. terms, the whole entire book. But they do have a glossary in the front that shows UK and US. So you can go either way, but this book itself is actually written in US terms. Got that one checked. Okay, how to use this book. Choosing the yarn, so that's a little segment, and I know because of the different colors here, if you turn the book like so, or this way probably, you're gonna get into the different, okay, streaking without freaking. Now we're gonna talk about the extended single crochet swatches. Everything that she does that is in the extended single crochet is in this part of the pattern. That's why you get the green, okay? Everything that is in the CSC, which if we flip back over to the front here, is the center single crochet. Put a little bookmarker in here so we can go back to it. The center single crochet, that is all these patterns in this little grouping. Goes to here. Okay, now we get into the FPDC. Now, I happen to know that that stands for front post double crochet swatches. And you see here, that's what that looks like. Adorable. Now we're cooking with gas, people. All right, then we move into the next section, which is the SCBLO swatches, single crochet back loop only section. And that's what these guys do. I love how these books are set up. It's organized. It makes sense. These patterns I know I can trust. This is the SESC. Now I'm thinking it's stitch extended single crochet. Let's see if I was right. Split extended single crochet. Who knew that one? Raise your hands if you knew that answer. Split extended single crochet. I didn't. I haven't done that one. But that's what these guys are. Big Flora. Spring, filigree, broken zigs, dotty, inlaid, honeycomb, floating bows, adorable, mermaid scales, ninjas, martinis. Now, you know you got to find something with martinis. Meow. That's cute. Ninjas, adorable. You could do a sweater for a child with ninja. The labyrinth, that looks cool. That looks very 3D. Snips, faded. And then we get into the projects. You're like, this is so cool. I don't know what to make. Then you got this going on. So here we choose the tread scarf. Okay. And this one looks like it's a beginner friendly if you're new to color work. So we love that. Shows you how to work through that one. Then we've got the snowy picture hat. That's adorable. That's with the little TV. Okay. Yeah. And for some of you, they're like, what are those things on top? Those are antennas. See, back in the day when you actually had to get cable, or before cable probably, you had to have these antennas. And that's how you got the signal for your TV. And these little bibbly bops over here on the side, those were the dials. One was for the volume and one was for the channel. And you had to literally get up from the couch, adding to your steps for the day, and you turned the dial. And then the other one was for volume. And then there was a UHF and something else that was like AM, FM radio. It was kind of like those two things. Retro friends back in the day. We didn't have to count our steps because we got enough steps in walking to the phone when it rang because we didn't have it stuck in our pockets, walking to the TV to change the channel. We got our steps in just doing normal stuff. Normal stuff. Just saying. All right. Clada. I know it ends in a noise because we just came from Ireland and Scotland, but clach mittens. Let's go with that. And if you're out there in Ireland, I apologize. I know I probably botched that up, but I know it goes something like that. That's the heart. It is definitely Irish because that's the national symbol for the Irish. Badlands cardigan. Oh my God, how cute is that with the jackalopes? That could be a project right there in the making. Okay. And this has got all the stuff. So you could, figure out if you didn't want the jackalope, if you wanted to do, or you wanted to put the telephones on that, or the hot dogs or whatever, or the jackalopes. I could do a sweater with hot dogs. I probably wouldn't, just putting that out there. But you could change up the graph if you wanted. Here it talks about how to measure your sweater. This talks about the sweater itself and then the Badlands cardigan. So more instructions on that. Icicles pullover, adorable. This doesn't look crochet. I mean, I can look at it. I know that that's crochet, but from a distance, you're like, yeah, that's a really nice sweater. It doesn't look like crochet. I love that. It's my new favorite book, people. And then how to fix color mistakes. Wow, because I'm going to guess there's going to be parts where there's going to be some mistakes. I'm pretty sure. Okay, what a fabulous, fabulous book. Swapping and modifying charts. Here you go. So if you're like, I want the hat, but I want the hot dogs in it, or whatever, or you want the whale instead of the klach, then there you go. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Brenda. Brenda Anderson lives in a little house in St. Paul, Minnesota, where it's very, very cold. And according to her little bio here, it is sweater months, 9 months out of the year. Sweater weather 9 months out of the year. Oh, you guys, the Hooktionary. I am hooked. I got this. I got my Doodle-Knit directory. I am set. Knit, crochet, two together, marrying them. Love it, love it. It's going to sit right next door to this one. All right, what is up next? So as you saw in both of these books, we're using at least 2 tones. Now this one, I loved this because this is actually using a variegated yarn going through and then another color going through. And this is also what I would call tonal or 2 tonals. So I was like, I really need to learn about colors and putting them together and what looks good together in coloring charts, because I got this yarn that I have to use up. So I came up with this book, Color Crochet Unlocked. This also came out in 2023. This is brought to us by Search Press, not Harry and David, not David and Charles. This is by Jane Howarth and Dawn Curran. So let's take a look here. These 2 ladies, doesn't tell me where they live, and that's okay. But Jane Howarth is a recognized knitwear and crochet designer. And Dawn Curran specializes in color work techniques. So they worked together on this. All right, so we're going to talk about getting the basic chart and reading the charts and all the abbreviations. Here it's going to be interesting. It talks about the color changes using mosaic tapestry, fair oil, and tarsa. That is going to be really cool. So again, more techniques that I'm learning in this book, getting started. So here, we're talking about the basics. It's always good when you get a book, make sure that it's got just some information about the basics. What kind of yarns we're going to use. What kind of tools and crochet hooks we're going to need. Here we go, reading a chart. I'm going to keep bringing it home, friends. And here's some really good chart symbols. These are universal. And I said this before, if you pick up a chart that's from another country, I find a lot of beautiful work that comes out of like the Ukraine and Russia and even Japan. And even some I found in Mexico. And I'm like, this is great, but I can tell that English is not this person's first language, and this is really hard to understand. All I have to know is learn how to read a chart, and I'm golden. Even if they wrote in English and the charts and the instructions are a little confusing, I just go right over to the chart and it makes sense for me. Here we've got our abbreviations, so it's always a good way. Handling multiple strands of yarn or multiple yarn strands. This is going to be important because as you're doing this color work, you have to carry this yarn through, or you're going to have to clip, one of the two. And I think carrying it through is going to be my preferred way to do it. And then it texts here how to change color. If I need to change the color again, yes. And then yes, no, and yes, no. And then here it tells you when to cut, and here it tells you when not to. Thank you. That's brilliant. Here's a color wheel. See, this whole thing, this show segment is really about patterns, but really talking about color. Because again, I got so much. How do I use it? It's great to have this color chart. We're going to get to that one in a second. Starting out with your color schemes. So finding out what you want to do and then what colors you've got and how you want to put them together. Okay. So how fibers affect color. That's interesting. Rescuing a color scheme. So there's a lot of like the troubleshooting pages, I'm going to call those. Wow. This is one of those books where I think it's almost like better just to read through it like a book. Because there's a lot of really good written information. I would say don't just dive in. Peruse it at the very least. Get an idea. This is about blocking. What you're working with. And then go and find your patterns. Look at all this, the instructions. So these are the different types of color work. So these are all noted as your stitches in color. The first little section, because it has these little bars over here, was getting started. Now we're in the stitches in color. And these are there's quite a few of those. Okay, now they don't name these stitches that I can tell. They just have them numbered. All right, that's fine. If you don't want to name them, that's cool. But so basically they just go with like number 10, number 11. And these are all the stitches in color. And there's quite a few. That's what I would call a ripple stitch with some bobbles in there. It's more of a block stitch. Drop stitch, that's a fan stitch. So, but they're not calling them anything in particular. That's a little bit of a fan with a drop. I'm calling that at least a flower, but they're not calling it anything. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I would prefer to have a name, because if somebody said, hey, what stitch is that? I go, number 29. But that's okay. That's just my personal preference. That's just me being a little sticky. These are some front post double crochets, and this is kind of like a little bit of a ripple stitch with some probably half, I would say, single crochet or a slip stitch, single crochet, half double, doubles, triples, something along those lines probably. Yeah, that's pretty simple and straightforward. But again, using those color charts, coming into you with a little bit of a fan or a flower. Fan stitch. And now we're talking about some color changes. So we're into the third section of the book. How do we change the colors? So again, here, how to work it. I like this, what do they call it? Like a work source, a workflow. That's what I would call this, a workflow. So they call it an algorithm. That's fine. You call it algorithm, workflow, whatever you want to do. Okay. So this is getting into a lot of those color changes. If you've done any mosaic, something like this, which is looking exactly what I was thinking. Tina, our friend Tina, she is from Finland, and I can't say her last name. Iceland. She's from Iceland. I take that back. I'm sorry. She does some beautiful mosaic, and sometimes it can get a little confusing, although her directions are pretty straightforward. Understanding how to do mosaic, I think, is huge. And again, this is where I learned how to read charts, tapestry crochet. So that's going to be sort of interesting. It's the most common technique used with more than one color in each row. Yarns are not carried along in the back of the work, and they are caught in each stitch as you make it. Okay, so what happens with that is that the color that you're using is sort of on top, and the color that's hiding is sort of like behind it or underneath, and then you just switch them. I've done that before. It uses up a lot of yarn, but it's cool, and it actually makes the fabric that you're making really thick and kind of cuddly. It's nice. I like that. Fair Isle crochet. Whoa, that's fun. I've always been afraid of Fair Isle knitting. I didn't even think about Fair Isle crochet. Intarsia crochet. Intarsia? Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so this is all talking about color changes and the different techniques. Charting for crochet and then smart charting. Again, great resource book. And then we've got the projects. I love it when it all comes together. All right, the Erskine hat, Erskine. Okay, that's adorable, really cute. These are just front post double crochets, but I love how the color changes. Don't know that I've really done that before on purpose. Buchan table runner. Love that, isn't that pretty? Okay. Moseying on down scarf. Great, love it. Love the yellows and grays. Very neutral, very calming colors. The Tweedy shopper. The Fourth Bridge blanket. Okay, love that. The Hera blanket. That's definitely looking like a mosaic. This has some diamond motif arranged in interesting ways. And then it tells you the yarns that they use. Okay. Trinity baskets. Now, I've been wanting to make a basket for my weaving supplies, my reeds and my spools and just all kinds of things that are long and sort of fiddly and hard to work with. And I think a basket would be a great way to store them. So that would be a great project for Kimberly to start with. The Zahara hat. I love that. That's adorable too. Oh, you guys, I'm very excited. And of course, you got to have the hat, the matching Zahara mittens. All right, this is our little books. This picture caught my eye. I don't think it was on the, yes, it was on the front. Caught my eye. I was like, what the heck? I love that. The love pillow. If you have, and I bet you this probably would be a great way to use up scrap yarns. Now they do use pastel colors, or you can put your own palette together. It's made with an Aran worsted weight but this is adorable. If you wanted to do it, I don't really promote the whole Valentine thing because I find that every day is a day of love. But if you wanted to do a Valentine's or something along those lines, you could do that in red. You could even do it in green and red if you wanted to do it for Christmas or any fun colors. That's adorable. I love that 3D look because it really does look 3D. Ha! Great. And then they got some little chart paper. And then here's some of their books that they carry as well, which I do have some of these books in my library. I got the block to block. I have, I believe, this one. And I think I might have had that one. Might be in my shopping cart somewhere. Okay, friends. So now we've got the books with the patterns and the different techniques. I wanted to show you briefly this color chart thing. Now, one of these books, and I think it was this one here, had a nice color wheel option in it. This is going a little bit more intensive into the color idea. So let's just see how this works. I have these yarns, which I actually love them together. I actually love all these colors together. I just finished making a shawl with these, which you'll see in a, I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you now. I made this. This was a Tony Lipsy pattern. This was the Hobie Happy yarn. I loved it. I loved all the bright colors, but I have obviously some scraps left over, and I still have some balls of hers that I haven't used up yet. This is what I've got left of this. It's adorable, right? And I love how it kind of does this interesting, I'll show you the back here, because we're all about color today. So this guy here, notice how the colors kind of ends. It drops off, right? So cute. I've never really done anything like that. So it's kind of like a block and stop and block. And then it's just got bobbles in between. And this was actually a free pattern on the Hobie website to feature the, oh my gosh, and it is so warm. I love this. Oh, it's so cute. I haven't actually put it on yet. Look at that. I'll be showing this at the end of the month when I show you my whips that I finished the month of February, but this was the first one that I finished. So I'll go ahead and show it to you. All right, so since we're talking about color, so let's say that I have this yarn here and I want to match it up and find what works best. So I'm going to look here on my color chart. This is how I understand it works. And I'm going to say it probably ties in closest to between these two, but I'm going to go with this. So then you take your color grid and you place your circle over it, the largest circle, which is your yarn color, which is this guy here. Okay. Now, it doesn't actually give me any complementary colors because I've fallen off the grid. But let's say, well, actually, I guess I could move it up. So I decided I chose this color. So I'm going to go with this, right? Now, if I move it up, there we go. That gets it. So this is my main color. These are my complementary colors in here. So any one of these colors are going to go. But if I want to go a little kooky with it, I bring it up here and I can bring in some really nice greens and complementary colors that will kind of, and more accent colors, I think we'll call it. So we go with this. Now, this color doesn't tie into it, but this color does, because if you look down here, it goes, yeah, those colors work really well together. So those would work nicely. Now, let's try this color just for fun. So this color, I think, matches up pretty nicely with kind of, this one matches up with that. All right, so we go down to this kind of a reddish brick color, this guy. All right, so my complementary colors are going to be in this area here. And if I wanted to get a little bit of a kookiness going on, I'm going to go to kind of these olive green colors, like that here. Okay, that's more like almost in the, those are in the browns, the brick browns, which I could totally see that actually. That would be more kind of almost like in this vein here. So that would be like a nice accent color, which is one I just grabbed off my shelf. Alrighty, cool. All right, let's try this third one. So this one here, okay, I'm thinking it definitely goes into that color. So I'm going to grab my little color chart. I love this. Goes right there. These are my complementary colors. And again, I'm a little bit low on the grade, but I'll just come down. So to here, and my complementary colors, or my accent colors, are down in here, which is kind of in these deeper blues and greens. I don't have anything on me at this moment, but like a deeper Everest green. Actually, hold the phone. That color could be a good complementary color. Yeah. Now, I'm not talking actual yarn. I'm talking colors. I wouldn't put these two together. These are different weights and different textures and whatever. I probably wouldn't put this together with that. I'm talking colors. This is mostly cotton with a little bit of wool in it, actually. But it's really nice. So that's basically how this guy works. I found this on WeCrochet, and it all fits together in this nice little sleeve that it gave me. What I really like about this is you can tie in, like if you're doing weaving or knitting or anything in your house, but it just really ties all your colors in together. I could laminate this and keep it nice and flat because I could see how it's gonna, I might end up doing that. And then just put it into like a 8.5 by 11 sleeve. This is a really great tool. Now I'm gonna tell you, I found this on WeCrochet, and I found this nowhere else. I tried to find it on Amazon. I tried to find it everywhere else, and the only place I found it was on WeCrochet, and it was $7.95. So it really works together. Now, the woman who made this also wrote a book called Hand Dyeing Yarn and Fleece, which I had at one time. I don't know if I still have the book, about yarn dyeing. And so when you're looking to dye yarns, this is a great, like, what colors are going to go together? What colors do you want to have next to each other? That's a great use for this. So I really like this tool. I feel like I'm ready now. I've got my yarn, which we know. I'm learning about how to mix colors and different techniques and textures here with the tapestry, the Tunisian, all of that. And then, my friends, I'm diving into the different patterns, the different with mosaic and the modern tapestry motifs. And if I really want to go crazy and do some knitting, I can do that as well. So this is all about my color journey, the Technicolor Coat. If you want to know more about this book, I featured this book. I actually did a review on this last year. I'm going to include a link below so you can just watch the review on this book. I'm not going to go through it here, but it was a fabulous book. All right, so now I think we're ready. This is all about color and these great books that I found on WeCrochet from David & Charles and Search Press, how to mix color. Yay! Well, thanks so much for watching. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains, and as always, I'll see you soon.